accountable for the way that you have chosen? Did you make your way straight before you come in this house? Are you sitting in this house with anger, jealousy, strife, bitterness, unforgiveness in your heart? When was the last time you had a good conversation with your sister, your brother, your neighbor? Are you still holding malice in your heart for something that you should have let go 20 years ago? This is the hour when you are gone. When God makes that call, there is no turning back. There is no time for you to call your neighbor to repent. There is no time for you to say, forgive me, my brother, forgive me, my sister. The time, the clock has stopped. God has called you. The way that you have chosen, I will determine. Are you going to walk that pearly gate? Are you going to have that crown of life that is set apart for you? Come on, somebody. Many times we go to a funeral and we hear the sweet messages about the person that died. But I'm here. Most of us in here are family. Most of us here are connected. Can you truly look at the person next to you and say that you love them unconditionally? Can you look at the person next to you and say that you have no art against them? Can you look at the person next to you and say, you know what, forgive me? Because guess what? Tomorrow is not promised. It is not promised to me, and it is not promised to you. But many times we think we have time. Death has an appointment with each and every one of us, and we don't know when that appointment will come. But as I stand here today, I pray that the ways that we will choose, that it will be pleasing to God. That we will take a look in the mirror and start with us. God, do I really forgive when I say I forgive? Is there bitterness in the callus of my heart? Is there anger? Is there strife? Is there the little foxes that will prevent me from spending eternity with you? Is there anything, God, that will keep me away from your presence? Many times we don't hear that in funeral. But I'm asking you today, when you leave this house, or even before you leave this house, ask yourself, there is a way that seems right. But is it my way or is it God's way? Many times, the ways that we choose is our way, and it's not God's way. To my family, I pray that the examples that our grandmother left for us, we will take hold of it. That we will not put her down in the dirt and walk away from what she sacrificed for life to show us, to instill in us a foundation that cannot be shaken, a foundation that is built up on the solid rock. It was never built on her, it was built on Christ Jesus. We talk about she loved, she gave. She showed us exactly what Christ wanted us to portray. She was God's representative in the earth. But the Word of God says we all have an appointment. Which way will you choose today? The broad way or the narrow way? You cannot serve two masters. You will love one and hate the other. You cannot serve God and serve the devil at the same time. This is the day where you get to make a decision. Why did God die for me? Why am I so precious in His sight? Why did He leave His splendor? Why did He take on my sin and die for me? Why am I so important to Him? Why does He love me when I don't even love me, when I don't even love Him? The answer is, He loved you because He desires to spend eternity with you. He desires that you would have peace that passeth all understanding. He desires for you to reign with Him in glory. He desires for you to have the best. He desires for you, His children, to not have sickness and diseases. He desires us to live in one accord, in peace and in unity. I pray today that you were blessed. I pray today that as you celebrate and remember my grandmother, that you remember her life was built on Christ, the solid rock, and that's the best foundation to have. God bless you.